I've been a patient advocate for a long time. And something that we talk a lot about in patient advocacy communities is about kind of a paternalism in medicine. Paternalism in medicine was like the way to do medicine for a large part of the 20th century. Doctor knows best. Follow doctor's orders. I know what's good for you. I'm going to give you the prescription. You go out and you do it. And we still have a lot of paternalism within modern medicine today. You'll hear patients, who don't stick to their, medication regimens or something as non-adherent or non-compliant patients. Now, we've been able to make that a little more sophisticated by bringing in considerations of social determinants of health, realizing that it's not merely patient behavior, quote unquote, compliance or adherence, that is the major driver, behind people not sticking to their treatment plans, et cetera. There are so many different determinations. I mean, including your socioeconomic category, your accessibility to healthcare, accessibility to pharmaceuticals, et cetera. So there's a lot going on. But paternalism in medicine, by and large, is still a thing that kind of hangs out. We're like, oh, well, doctor knows best and doctor's going to tell you what to do. Now, I want to be careful about paternalism when we're thinking about sort of political discussions, political activism, et cetera. Because I think sometimes there's this like frustration that people get, and it'll come out in terms like this, like, why do all of these Trump supporters vote against their own interests? Why don't they vote this way? That's what's best for them. We need to understand, we need to resist the ideas of paternalism there. We need to resist the idea that like, oh, well, we know best and you voted against your interests, right? We know best and blah, 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 blah. That's such a snobby, elitist, arrogant position to take. And it's why in the working class, it's why a lot of Democrats, it's why we've lost the working class. It's because we've felt this kind of righteous indignation, this position of like, oh, well, let us tell you, working class, about what's going to be best for you. And then let us criticize you when we perceive you to be voting against your own best interest. That's paternalism. And it's icky. It's gross. We got to get rid of that. This is collective liberation. This is class consciousness. We're all working together here. It's not I know what's best and you don't know and you voted against your interests. We got to purge ourselves of that paternalism that we take to our activism. What we need to instead say is, listen, we are all members of the same class. And as the working class, here are the policies that will be best for the working class. We need to situate ourselves in the working class, not situate ourselves as having some sort of intellectual superiority over other members of the same class. The same is true when we're like, oh, well, the whole reason that Kamala lost was because of racism and misogyny. I mean, maybe it is, right? I mean, we know that white supremacy undergirds the history of our country. So yeah, sure. I mean, there's some systemic stuff that's out there, but we got to really be careful about when we use these paternalistic, like, elitist, I know best and you don't. We need to always speak from a place of situating ourselves within our own class and then speaking in terms of what is best for the class, not for individuals.